Recorded. So what is method overriding? So overrides the methods. So method overriding happens between the two classes. Method overloading happens in single class. But method overriding happens in two classes. You should have one parent, one child class. Both should maintain the easy relationship, and that means it's a inheritance. It is a inheritance concept. So inheritance concept, it should maintain. So if the subclass has the same method as declared in the parent class, then it is known as a method overriding. And that means child class, parent class has the same method, both classes. But logic is going to be different. Method name same, parameters are same, everything same. But only difference is parent class logic is different, child class logic is different. So that means why do you need this? Method overriding. So for example, you have one class created by somebody else. So they created a method and that is used by many people. And you don't want to disturb that method, and you want to same method name you want, same parameters you want, but you want to improve that method for your own purpose. If you disturb that, it will impact others. So instead of that, what you can do, same method name, you can call in your child class and implement in your own way. Then you call this method with the child class object, then obviously your child class method logic, you will get it. You won't get the parent class logic. So that means you're overriding the parent class logic in your child class. That is called method overriding. So this kind of so logic is very important.
Sorry if this is confusing. Do we need an abstract keyword to achieve this? Just recollecting. No, right? Here.
Abstract keyword, yes. You will not, but here you don't need. Only
okay.
Only method overriding you are writing, you don't need.
Okay.
But there is a abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
So abstraction also coming up. There you can create abstract methods.
Mm-hmm.
And you can override them in the child classes. But there in the abstract, if you use, you are not writing any logic.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So here you are writing the logic in both the classes.
Mm-hmm.
One way is you can override both the classes has the different logics.
Mm-hmm.
The other way is with abstract keyword, you just declare it, but don't define in the same class.
Mm-hmm.
And you can implement in your own way in another classes. That is also another method overriding.
Got it.
So that we are going to learn that also in the coming classes.
Okay.
So different ways you can do method overriding. But all these cases, see, in the method overriding also, you are getting inheritance concept, inheritance oops concept. Yes. Without inheritance, you cannot achieve method overriding, first of all.
Yeah.
So mandatory inheritance concept here, because it happens between the two classes only.
Yeah.
But you will get also which logic you will get, Sarah, while calling time. Basically, when you inherit, parent class properties automatically child class can use, right? But what about the overridden methods? So always a child class logic, you will get it, not the parent class logic. Then how can you get the parent class methods if you want? So that will show you in a different concept. So there super keyword will come into picture. So let's understand this. if the subclass provides the specific implementation. So you don't want parent class logic for the same method, same parameters, but you want to give your own logic in your own class. Then you opt for method overriding. Otherwise, you don't have that scenario, you don't need to override the methods.
Yes.
But all the WebDriver methods are overridden in the classes. That I'll explain the next topic, that is abstraction topic. It covers very nicely. So usage of method overriding is basically just now I told, right? You want to give your own implementation. You don't want to disturb parent class method logic. For the same method, you want to give a different implementation, then you will go for the method overriding. Then what are the rules for method overriding? If you want to achieve method overriding, what rules you need to follow? First thing is you should create two classes, and you have to apply inheritance between the two classes. Then you choose which method you want to override in the child class. That method must have same name as in the parent class. Child class also, which method you want to override, same method name. So what is there in the parent class, you have to write the same method in the child class also. Method must have same parameter as in its parent class. Okay, that method, what parameters are there? You just check that structure. So it has a parameters or it doesn't have a parameters. You just see that. So based on that, as it is, you write in the child class also. Method must have same parameter as in its parent class. Child class implementation should be different than parent class method logic. And so another thing is, okay, so this is another interview question also. For example, parent class has a protected access modifier. Then what access modifier you can give in the child class?
Anything, right? Or should be the same. I might be wrong. I don't know.
So guess it. Okay. So can I give private or can I give default? If my access modifier for the method protected is there, in the child class, can I give private or default? Unprotected. So which one is correct here? Unpublic. So which access modifiers you can give, which access modifiers you should not give. So these points are also very important here. So you see, private means you cannot access, right, anywhere. So you should not give private. So always remember, the higher permission, so the scope is there in the parent class, you should not reduce the scope in the child class. Keep this point in mind. So protected is having a higher scope than private and default, right?
Yeah, so you should use the same.
You should use the same or higher, like public you can use. But you should not reduce the scope. Keep this point in mind. That's one of the famous interview question also. Then runtime polymorphism. So what is runtime polymorphism or dynamic method dispatch? So it is a process basically in which a call to an overridden method is resolved at runtime only. That means, okay, you have a method, same method in the parent class and child class. Which method it is going to call? When you call the object dot the overridden method, but which class logic it will call? That will be resolved based on your object, the object you are creating. So that is the runtime polymer. It is resolved. So that process, right, that confusion, which method has to be called is resolved at runtime. rather than at a compile time. So in this runtime polymorphism, so you will call overridden method with the reference variable of superclass. I already told you, reference variable type can be same class type or superclass type. Same class type or superclass type. Okay. So this is the one. See, with the parent class, reference variable equal to new child class. This is called upcasting or runtime polymorphism, we call this. So generally we'll write an object, so class reference of object equal to new class, right? That's what we'll create object. But here, left hand side, instead of child class, I'm writing here parent class. That means this reference variable type is parent class type. So this reference variable will be used to call only overridden methods, not all the methods. Overridden methods in the child class plus parent class methods. Except the method which is there in the parent class that you cannot call. If you call also, it will call child class logic only. It won't call parent class logic. So I'll show you a bit confusion, but don't worry, I'll show you but understand here. See, right hand side child class object, but left hand side this object reference type is parent type, parent class type. Because we have two classes, right? One parent class, one child class. So you always, in the inheritance process, I told you, always create object for child class to call the both class methods. But when you change the reference variable type as a parent, then you can call only overridden methods of child class plus parent class methods. Plus parent class methods. So this is the very important you need to carry. So can we override the static methods? No, you cannot override the static methods. Any static method, you cannot override. Keep this point, another very widely asked interview question, this one. Why we cannot override the static methods? As I initially mentioned very clearly, static belongs to class, whereas instance method belongs to object. So static stuff will go and store in the class area memory, and instance method will go and store in the heap memory area. So heap memory area, when it will create at runtime only. But static stuff will store, so before your running, before runtime only. Once a class is loaded, the memory will allocate for the static stuff, but only one time. That's a static stuff. The static stuff means static variables and static methods. So can we override the Java main method? Just now I told you reason. Any static method, you cannot override. Main also one static method. So you should not override the main method also. Can you override the private method? No, because private methods are not accessible, right? In another class. So first of all, you have a private method in the parent class. You cannot use that in the child class at all. And another question, how can you stop overriding the methods? So make that method either private, static, or final, then that method cannot be overridden. So this is the one, suppose there is a get interest rate. So different banks has a different rate of interest. So RBI has decided rate of interest 7. So get rate of interest will return 7. But when you go to different banks, like SBI, Axis or ICICI or different banks, they will change the rate of interest differently. You can get same rate of interest. So you extend. So SBI extends RBI, then you can develop your own logic for this SBI. SBI guy can implement this get rate of interest to his rate of interest. He is overriding the RBI get rate of interest method. So that's the another best example for a realistic example. Why different banks have a different rate of interest. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so the last one, what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding? So both are used to achieve the polymorphism concept. Method overloading is to increase the readability of your code. And method overriding is used to develop your own implementation in your child classes. And method overriding is occurs between two classes, but method overloading occurs in single class. In case of method overloading, parameter must be different. In case of method overriding, parameter must be same. So method overloading is the example of compile time polymorphism. Method overriding is an example for runtime polymorphism. So method overloading can't be performed by changing return type of the method. Return type must be same, or so in the method overriding case, it should be same. You cannot give a different. So that's the method overloading and method overriding differences. This is another major interview question. This polymorphism is one of the hard interview questions. So in the interview point of view, you will get a lot of questions on this what is runtime polymorphism? So what is the difference between method overloading, method overriding? So what is a method overloading? And all these questions, whatever I asked, all those questions they will ask. Yeah, let's go to how we can implement this method overriding. I'll just take from here quickly. We can finish that. So I will take two classes. One is animal class. I'll just take it. I'll explain it, don't worry, okay? And then, so we have one dog class. Okay, so let's go to animal class first. So it has a public class animal, public string breed equal to wild. This is the instance variable, and one default constructor I created. How can I say this is the default constructor? Class name and constructor name is same. So that's the main indication for you. But you should know what are the class naming conventions and how to recognize the class. First, you should have that basic idea. Then we have a one eat method, make sound method. Two methods I created. Okay. So now we have a dog class. So the dog class, see public class dog. So extends animal class. See, this is the parent and this is the child. So private string breed is a pet I have given. And public dog two. See, super keyword I'm using. So here you have a child parent class as a one default constructor. I want to use same logic here means, so in this constructor, I can just use the super keyword. So super keyword is another reference variable which refers the immediate parent class objects. Parent class instance variables, parent class instance methods, parent class. So constructors, it will call parent class constructor. Now, see, I'm calling the animal class constructor here by just writing the super parenthesis because it has a default constructor. That's why I'm referring super parenthesis empty. So empty parameters. So no parenthesis, no parameters. That's why this is called default constructor of parent class you are calling here in this child class constructor. See, I'm overriding. Here also you have eat method. This eat method is animal is eating. And this one is I'm writing a different way. So eat method, system.out.println dog class eat method. So dog eats, pedigree, something we have written. See, override. That means this method we are overriding. So eat method you have in the child class and also you have in the animal class also. Then display method. So display method you don't have here. So we are just developing in the dog class. See, I'm just showing this super and this keyword example again here. This and super keyword example again I'm showing. So now this breed here also you have and animal class also you have. Now I want to call this class breed variable. Then I can refer dog type is this dot breed. So this means always refers which class? Current class. What is current class now? Dog. So now this dot breed means it will refer dog class breed. So how can you call animal class breed? So super keyword. So you have to use super dot breed. So super keyword again so repeating, super is an instance reference variable which refers the instance variables, which refers the instance methods, and which calls or invokes the parent class constructor here. So always in the child class, you want to call parent class objects. You can use super keyword. See, now I am calling parent class instance variable. How I am calling? Here also you have breed. So there also you have breed, same variable. How you are calling parent class instance variable? Super dot parent class instance. How you are calling current class instance variable? This dot breed. So here you should get a much clarification here. So clarity on this, how to use this and super keywords. Now I am calling this class eat method. How I am calling? Directly you can call it. This is the non-static method. This is also non-static. I am calling one non-static method, another non-static method directly, or this dot eat method. Internally, if you call without this, it will call internally this dot eat. That means current class eat method it is calling. That's the meaning of that. Where if you want to call parent class instance method, same method, which method you have overridden, that you want to call super dot eat method. Super dot eat method you can call.
Can we give a variable also like that without this? it will be referring to this, or we cannot.
You call it right like this variable. This is a variable.
Yeah, I get it. So for method, you said we don't need to use this dot eat explicitly. Even if we give eat, it will.
Oh,
If we
yeah.
remove
Here
the
also.
yeah.
Here also you can call.
Oh,
Internally, it will call this dot breed.
okay.
Internally, it will call this dot breed.
Okay.
So this always refers the current class. So instance variable, because this is the non-static, right? So non-static variable inside, you can call non-static variable directly, right?
Yeah, I get it. So just trying to recollect why I mean where we should use mandatorily use this dot breed.
This dot breed is if you have same name in the parameters.
Oh, okay.
So parameter is same.
Got it.
And your instance variable is same, then you have
Same.
to use this dot
Yeah. Got
to
it.
refer that.
Got it.
So in the previous class in the inheritance, I have shown you that. And also encapsulation, we have seen that. So your method parameter and your instance variable name is same. To differentiate that, so we have used this dot name equal to right side parameter name.
Got it. Yeah.
So such cases you have to use this. This will refer always instance variable. Now super also will refer always parent class instance variable. Super is also used to invoke parent class constructor. Super also used to call parent class non-static method, which is overridden method. So now say, so you can call directly like this. So now you create object doc2 AOVJ equal to new doc2. You can call AOVJ dot display. Or if you create object animal AOVJ1 equal to new dog, this is called runtime polymorphism. Why I'm saying runtime polymorphism? See, this reference type is parent class type. Now with this object, you cannot use to call this method. You cannot get it. See that. Only overridden methods you can call. This is the overridden, right? That will call eat method. But you cannot call this one. So this will refer only the parent types. See, make sound is from parent class. But this one you cannot get it. See, let me show you that. See, display method is not there. Only parent class objects and the methods which are overridden in the child class, that only you can call with this parent reference variable. So parent class reference variable is used to call the overridden methods of child class and parent class methods, not the child class other instance methods you cannot call with that object reference. So this is a bit complicated, but still, so how much you can get it, Yeah, it's a very important understanding is a very, very important, this polymorphism.
One small clarification here. So we had super dot eat, right? In line number 23. That calls parent class eat only.
Parent class eat.
Yeah, and 32 also calls, I mean, a object 1 dot eat calls parent class method only, right?
No, this 32 will call dog class.
Oh, okay.
So dog class eat method.
Okay.
So this one also dog class eat method.
Okay. Dog class eat method.
So this one is animal class. Eat method. So why you are calling animal class? Because super you have used.
So if we want to call parent class eat method in the
Always.
Yeah. In the public static void main also.
Not possible.
Not possible.
So
Okay.
this and super keywords are not allowed to use in any static methods.
Okay, I get it. So if we want to call, non-static methods of the parent from the main, is there a possibility?
Yeah, you are calling, right? This is the parent class method, this one. Make sound.
Okay, then how come 32 calls dog classes eat method?
It's overriding, right? It's overriding.
Okay, because
when you override always, so you see, you are overriding the eat method. Always this logic you will get, not parent class logic.
Okay, so we won't be able to utilize the eat method in the parent class to the child method main class, right?
Exactly. You cannot use.
You cannot use. Okay.
You can use only with the super keyword if you want parent class logic.
Got it. Yeah.
Always you will get, you create object for a child class reference variable with the child object. Parent class reference with the child class object. In any case, both the cases, you will get child class method logic only. Always overridden method only you will get it.
Okay. Parent class non-static method can be invoked only with the
super keyword.
Okay. All right. So how about static methods? Sorry, I'm joining few classes.
Static methods you can directly call. So static methods you are not going to override at all, right?
Yeah, not going to override at all. If at all we want to utilize parent classes, I mean, if there is a static method in animal.java, we can directly call in the main method.
Main method. Anywhere, any method inside you can call directly. Okay. So I covered in the inheritance. I think you missed that class, right? I covered in the inheritance.
Okay. Just by giving the method name?
Method name. Just method name. No need of prefixing the class name.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. All these points are very, very important. Understanding those points.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you asked a lot of questions, but how many people got them? This is the very important. So if you ask these questions, you will get answers more. So others, please, try to understand what Sugna is asking so that it will help you nicely.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's all about polymorphism concept. So we have very simple one. I covered this super keyword, polymorphism, method overriding. Now we have one final keyword. I don't know how much time we have. Let me see. We can cover or not. 5 minutes. Definitely we can cover. So what is final keyword? A final is a non-access modifier keyword, which is applied on class, method, and variable. So when you apply final keyword on the variable is going to be constant. It cannot be changed. And if you apply a final keyword on the class, that class cannot be extended to another classes. That means inheritance is not possible for the final classes. So when you apply a final keyword on the methods, that you cannot override that method. Final methods cannot be overridden. So this is the main important points you need to remember. The final variable cannot be reinitialized. That means reassigned a new value. Once you assign, you cannot reassign a new value. Final method cannot be overridden. Final class cannot be extended. So that's it. So these are the 3 points you need to remember. So let me give you a simple example. Loan type. Quickly we can finish. And cheap loans, I think we created one more. Okay, so loan type, what is there? So let me show you.
Can't be extended, can't be overridden. What is the other one?
Can't be extended, can't be overridden, can't be changed the value.
Okay.
So this is the final class I created. Okay. Public final class loan types. Okay. And I created a final variable also. Public static final string loan type equal to home. So I assigned a value. Home I assigned to this loan type variable. Now, if you try to change, now I'm as a reassigning. So now home is there. What I'm doing here in this 8th line, loan type plus loan I am adding. What is this loan type? Home already there. Home plus I am adding loan. So that means you are changing the value, right? Changing the value and reassigning to the same variable. This is not possible. That's why it is throwing error. Can you see that?
Yeah.
The final field loan type cannot be assigned. Once you assigned already in the 5th line home, you cannot change that home to home loan. Not possible. Not possible at all reassignment.
Yeah.
So next. So that's the first point. And the final method I created, public final string get loan type. So return loan type. This is the final method, final class. Now, if you see here, cheap loans, I created normal class. See, now I cannot extend. Final class, I cannot extend. See, the type cheap loan cannot subclass the final class loan type. So this cannot be a subclass to this parent class. Why? Because of you made final that loan types. So if you remove that final keyword, then it is possible. See, now this error is gone. This error is gone. But another one is you cannot override the, so this is the overriding. See, it is very clearly saying cannot override the
final method. Yeah.
Final method from loan types. So these are the few points you need to remember regarding final keyword. Other than that, nothing. Okay. So that's all. And we are left with last OOPS concept, that is abstraction. Tomorrow we'll cover that. Okay. Any questions till now?
So I have one doubt in that interface. Callable and I can explain, sir. Callable and runnable interfaces.
That will come in the collection, not here.
Okay, sir.
So that is first you should understand the interface. Then you can understand that. Here there is no interface at all.
Yes, yes, sir.
So that
yesterday I faced the issue, sir. Yesterday I attended the interview.
So it's not issue. You got an interview question. What is the difference between
sir.
callable and callable interface and so what is the other one?
Runnable, sir.
Runnable. Runnable also interface. Callable also another interface. Both. So tomorrow I'll cover that interface time. Then you can get an idea.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So any questions? Please read. If you don't read, it's not possible to get the things. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.